do the by-election, because, I mean, you saw how they were appointed. You saw the petitions. Some of them were not shortlisted. There were 100 dams there. So
they were added in at the last minutes, 5 of them. It was a whole symbolic sort of...
in my opinion, especially the opposition, have zero reason to trust them. What they need to do is to trust the law. They need to make sure that the election, the general election, ends at the constituency as the law requires. Finishes at the constituency. Because once you do that, then you don't have the servers, you don't have the kamangos, because it's constituency by constituency.
Yes.
That is the law. That is Article 86C and Article 138. It requires that presidential election is held in each constituency. So, and enforce that. The opposition need to enforce that. Once they enforce that, the other thing they need to enforce is to get the court to order IEBC to gazette polling stations 6 months before the polling day. Now, the reason for that is if the government, because it's the government creating ghost hospitals and paying them, it is the government creating ghost schools, you know, the Auditor General report.
So you feel
so they can also
ghost polling stations.
Ghost polling stations. So when it is published 6 months ahead of time, then people have time to inspect them. That increases transparency as required again by Article 86 and accountability. Then the other thing need to be demanded is the law requires that the voters register be complete 3 months. You stop registration 3 months before the election. They should demand the certified copies of the voters' roll 3 months before the polling day. In other words, they should use the law, not IEBC. They should have zero trust on IEBC. Just use the law to make sure that things are done according to the law. Because if that is happening, then it's difficult for anyone to manipulate. But if they go sleeping and they don't use the law, and this law, the beauty of the electoral system in Kenya is so codified. It's complete, actually, because if you look at the section 39 of the Elections Act, it's beautiful. It tells you how these votes are being counted and transferred. But for some reason, the opposition has never paid attention to the legal process, which is already codified, and they use that one to force the body to run the election according to it, and to do it in advance. Don't wait until after the polling is when you want to enforce the law. You enforce the law step by step until you reach there. I think that's how they should do it, not because the way I saw the IEBC being selected. I'm not an opposition lead. If I was opposition lead, I would declare it the president's IEBC, basically. I mean, the chairman confessed that he didn't even apply. Some fellow from South Africa applied for me. He told the panel like that. You know, the courts, I think, decided to rule the way it did because the time, there was no time. There was only 2 years and 1 month left before again we miss it, like we miss the limitation. So I wouldn't advise the opposition to trust the IEBC. I would advise them to trust the law. And then force.
So this IEBC already, you're casting aspersions on it. It is not trustworthy.
I'm saying, because of the process. Look here, the way they were recruited, the way the panel was formed, in my opinion, was illegal. Raila nominating people to the panel and Ruto, according to the Nandiko report, they are not the only candidates. You see, there is other candidates in the race. You understand that? So those nominees, for example, I could say they contaminated the process already. The nominees which came
later.
The
5 of them.
Yes. You can say they contaminated already the process. So when you look how the panel was formed itself, I can tell you that we really don't have idea.
Don't you think also maybe that could have been by design so that it can scupper the whole process? We have also the court litigation being subjected there, some delaying tactics. That is how it was meant to be played out?
Well, this is how...
And then we find ourselves submerged in a constitutional crisis?
Exactly, that's why the court did not really take those petitions serious. Okay. Because they couldn't have... I mean, there was a legal weight.
They saw through it.
The case was arguable, but then they saw through it. Where was the time? And you need a stable country. You need that body. And I agree, you need the body in place. Once it's in place, then now use the law to make sure they do the right thing.
Thank you. All right, let's get our closing remarks from Ambrose Wedath.